Lucid has had a crazy offseason going into 2025. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up, guys? Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, analysts, and grassroots content creators, and we have another HCS report where today we're going to be talking about Lucid's journey, his timeline that he's been going by so far here in this offseason, because we've heard a lot of craziness, not only with Optic, and Lucid has had a crazy offseason leading into the 2025 season, and we're going to have to break things down a little bit. We're going to go over the timeline on how things kind of started, where we're at right now, and how we've gotten here today. So in case you guys have been living under a rock, I would say check out the last 3 videos on the YouTube. I'll keep them in the posted in the description down below. I have some links down if you haven't watched them yet. But going into the 2025 season, we first heard that Optic Gaming were going to be going in different directions, and that right off the rip confused the hell out of most of us. None of us didn't really know what was going on until Formal kind of dropped some tidbits both on his stream and during that Flycast podcast episode, where he talked about how much the second places really ate at him, and he really wanted to put together a god squad that he believed can contend with that SSG roster and win championships. So the early talks talked about Optic and FaZe kind of combining, joining Formal. So there was definitely like a Formal and Renegade that everybody kind of knew that was happening, or at least, again, now keep in mind, by the way, guys, this is all rumors at this point. Nothing's really confirmed, but there's been a lot of tidbits, a lot of things dropped that's kind of led us to believe this. So it's not just, you know, stuff on Reddit. We've seen out of the players' own mouths them talk about these rumors. Wanted to just kind of premise that real quick. But we talked about Formal and Renegade teaming up, and then what that might be able to look like after that. Would it be like a Frosty and a Suppressed? Would it be a Snakebite and Royal 2 joining them? Like, how exactly would that look? But it really became, you know, Formal and Renegade, and then the maybes to fill out the last 2 spots were Snakebite, Royal 2, Frosty, and Suppressed is what we heard making up this Optic God Squad roster with Formal. Well, that leads the person we're talking about in Lucid to say, okay, well, where are we going here? And he obviously wanted to stay with his longtime duo in Trippy, and they decide, well, you know what? Where could we go if we're going to create this big 3 roster, but one that can legitimately contend for winning tournaments? So if SSG are theoretically staying together, which, by the way, we'll talk about that later on, you have SSG, and then you have some kind of mix-up of, again, Formal, Renegade, Snakebite, Royal 2, Frosty, and or Suppressed as that second team that's going to be the big 3. And then it looks like Lucid and Trippy in their early thoughts said, whoa, what else is out there? Well, we know Shopify Rebellion have been top 3 all year long, you know, top 4 during the opener, and maybe obviously Worlds not exactly going their way, but still, you know, their average placing is 3rd place throughout the year, or maybe like 3.5 for my math geeks out there. But either way, that's kind of the next best option for them. And they say, well, you know what, we got some young guns in Psycho, and maybe even a Suppressed, but if it decides to go over to that Optic Gaming roster, maybe a last shot. So if we know SSG are here, and we know whatever this God Squad roster is here, the early talks led them to, hey, let's talk to Shopify Rebellion, and let's see if we can get a Lucid, Trippy, Cycle, and Last Shot type of roster going. I remember, I think Tusk kind of leaked it a little bit, APG kind of leaked it a little bit, and that's what the early talks were going on, and that theoretically would have been our big 3. Until shit starts to hit the fan a little bit. That's when we actually have we have news that Space Station Gaming are not staying together. In fact, Optic are targeting 2 members of Space Station Gaming, looking to buy out their contracts and bring them over to the green wall. And when the green wall's knocking, it's hard to say no. I promise you that. So now what we thought to be SSG and then this Optic FaZe combination roster gets blown wide open, and things start to change and start to become rapidly moving here and changing quickly, because now it sounds like a Formal a Renegade, and Bound and Legend are going to be teaming with Optic. Again, nothing confirmed just yet. We're just following the breadcrumbs on the Reddits, on the Twitches, on the Twitters, and even out of a lot of the own professional mouths themselves. But again, formal, Renegade, Bound, and Legend sound like that's going to be the team going forward. So that throws a huge wrench into the plans of Lucid and Trippy jumping on with Psycho and Last Shot, because now it's not just SSG and FaZe and Optic. Now we have one God Squad, and now we need to start making some rosters, start moving some things around. And it sounds like Eco and Stellar want to stay together, and maybe they hit up Snakebite and say, hey, look, we can make something beautiful happen here. We could have two of probably some of the greatest minds that we have in the game right now in a Snakebite and an Eco. And then on top of that, you have Stellar with his raw skill, MVP Stellar, might I say. And that's going to be really tough to deal with. But who do we get as a fourth? Well, we know Lucid and Trippy have been in talks with Psycho and Last Shot, but it sounds like they're over here like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe we have Lucid join this crew and we make a God Squad of our own. What if it really is Eco, Stellar, Snakebite, and then Lucid joins the crew, and now we have something extremely dangerous. We're not talking about just a big three. We're talking about maybe creating just a big two. Two teams competing for championships, and then everybody else on the outside looking in. I think that's kind of the timeline that we're working with. So when we heard the rumors of Lucid and Trippy joining that Shopify Rebellion roster, and even Trippy out of his own mouth saying that he was going to stay as a team of two with Lucid, that was probably the early plans. That was legitimately probably the plan. However, with the idea, with the knowledge now that we have that SSG are not staying together, it has turned the whole HCS sideways, and now nobody's safe from Rosetermania. And it sounds like although Lucid's plans was to join Shopify Rebellion with Trippy, that may have changed quickly, and maybe we see two God Squads going at it all year long. Either way, let me know what you guys think. If you guys think it's actually true, will we see formal Renegade, Bound, and Legend team together, and then a roster like an Eco, Stellar, Snakebite, and Lucid? And if so, which team do you like more? Which team do you think will win more tournaments if those two really are the rosters? Again, like I said, everything is rumors so far, but there's been a lot of breadcrumbs leading up to where we're at right now, and you already know I'm going to keep you updated with all the action, and as we start to get more proof, we'll make even more videos with that proof. But I just want to do a little timeline, a little bit of a fun video here today, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget, cop the freaking merch. We got the everyday essentials package in the t-shirt, the hoodie, and the beanie. Make sure you grab it while supplies last. It's available in black and white, white and black. This is the simple everyday type of wear. On top of that, we did release a premium Tory edition baseball jersey, very similar to what I wore in Atlanta when me and my girlfriend wore matching baseball jerseys. And then on top of that, the Discord. Not only are we always talking, always having fun in the general chat, but on top of that, there's a looking for a group that if you go to role request, you click on this icon right here, you can now look for gamers and at looking for gamers and never go into ranked or social or even big team battle alone. Get your friends, rank up fast, and yeah, until next time, peace out.